The key to staying power might not be as difficult to obtain as you would think.
Welcome to the podcast. Here's your host, Craig T. Owens.
Here in the United States, when there is a change of presidents, particularly if the new president coming in was of a different political party than the previous administration, we'll see a changeover not just in the presidency, but in all of the support staff as well. We'll see new counselors and especially new members of the president's cabinet. So it's really noteworthy when there is a holdover, somebody that served the previous president, and now the new incoming president said, I want you to remain and continue to serve me, continue to be in this trusted position. What is it that allows that staying power to be attached to that person? Well, I think we find a great example in Daniel in the Bible. Daniel was a part of the people that were carried away from Jerusalem to Babylon when King Nebuchadnezzar sacked the city. Real quickly, Daniel distinguished himself and rose to a prominent position and was right there serving as a trusted advisor to King Nebuchadnezzar. Now, all of a sudden, we get to chapter 5 of Daniel's letter, and we don't see anything. It doesn't say Nebuchadnezzar died and his son came to the throne. We just get to chapter 5 and it says, now King Belshazzar threw a great feast. And you wonder, okay, what exactly happened there? Obviously, Nebuchadnezzar died, but it's not just Nebuchadnezzar to Belshazzar. Listen to this timeline. Nebuchadnezzar died in about 562 BC, and his son, a man by the name of Amel-Marduk, assumed the throne. Amel-Marduk was assassinated by his brother-in-law, Nergal-Sharezer, 2 years later. So he only served for 2 years. And then he came to the throne. Well, 4 years later, then he died, and his son came to the throne, a man by the name of Labashai-Marduk. And before a year had passed, Labashai-Marduk was assassinated. And then 5 years after that, that guy, Nabonius, was overthrown, and Belshazzar comes to the throne. So if you do the math on this, in 12 years, there were 5 regime changes. Okay? 12 years, 5 regime changes. And yet Belshazzar here, when he finds himself in a difficult position, the queen comes in and says, you know who you should contact here? You know who a trusted advisor would be to give you great counsel here? Is this man named Daniel. Think about this. Daniel never got caught up in the political intrigue. He didn't get swept away because he got caught up with one group that was trying to assassinate or trying to vie for authority and power somewhere else. He just was there. I said, I'm here to serve. And so he came in and served Belshazzar just as he had served under Nebuchadnezzar. Well, Belshazzar, we have a very short history of him. Because of his arrogance and his pride, he allowed the kingdom to disintegrate, and as a result of that, the Babylonians were defeated by the Medes, and a new ruler comes on the scene, and this new ruler is a man named Darius, and Darius as well quickly recognizes Daniel is a man of wisdom that I want to have around. In fact, Daniel's rivals, the people that were trying to vie for position and trying to elbow their way up to the top, they even recognized, and it's recorded here in the book of Daniel, they said, we're never going to have anything spoken against Daniel about his work ethic and about his integrity. Those things are beyond question. If we're going to attack him at all, we're going to have to attack him because of his religious beliefs. And still, Daniel remained in that position. So think about this. Not only is there a regime change, like think about it in the United States, going from one presidential administration to another, and you had 5 different changes taking place there. But when the Babylonians are defeated by the Medes, Daniel is still there. And then when the Medes are overtaken by the Persians, Daniel is still there. It's recorded like this in the Bible. It says, so Daniel prospered during the reign of Darius and the reign of Cyrus the Persian. Cyrus is the one who ultimately issues the decree to allow the Jews to return back to Israel. That was 70 years after they had been defeated. So over a span of 70 years, there is Daniel faithfully serving. And I think 2 of the keys that we see there are his integrity and his work ethic. But where do those things come from? I mean, you can work hard, but if you don't have anything to offer, you don't have anything to bring to the table, people aren't going to keep you around. So clearly, Daniel is working hard. He is a man of integrity, but he is a man of wisdom as well. Well, there's something that we notice throughout the life of Daniel. First of all, he made prayer a regular part of his life. Those advisors that were trying to figure out how they could elbow Daniel out of the way, that said we could only trip him up by something about his religion, they tricked King Darius into signing an edict that says that nobody can pray to any other god. They can only pray to Darius. And it says that Daniel went back into his room, and as he had always done, as his regular habit was, he just continued to pray. Daniel was a man of prayer all the time, but not just on a regular basis, but whenever he was stumped, whenever there was something that was perplexing him and he said, I don't know where to go, he would turn to prayer. And twice he has a visit from an angel. And listen what the angel says to him. Twice it says this, Daniel, you are highly esteemed. In the eyes of God, you are highly esteemed. That, friends, I think, is the main key to staying power. Daniel had favor with God, and then God gave Daniel favor with men. Daniel constantly went to God and made prayer a regular part of his life to get that wisdom. And he also went to prayer when he was stumped on something. And as a result, he had great things to be able to give. Jesus said it this way. He said that the wise, godly man is able to bring treasures out of his heart. Jesus said it this way, both old and new treasures. Daniel, many times when he was called in before the king, would go to an old treasure. He would go back and say, let me remind you of the history. I'm going to show you what took place before so you can apply it now. But then Daniel also said, I have something new to give you. I have a new insight. I have a new creative thought that I can share with you. Friends, I can tell you from personal experience too, there have been times that I've sat with my team and we've been stumped on how to handle a situation, and I've gone to prayer and I've been given some insight, and I've come back and said to my team, after praying about it, here's what I think we need to do, and watch all their jaws drop. Wow, where did you get that? Didn't come from me. That was a new treasure that God dropped into my heart. If you want to have staying power, if you want to be valuable, you certainly have to work hard, and you have to be a person of integrity like Daniel was. But also, make your communication with God a regular thing. When you have favor with God, He will give you favor with men, and He will keep you in those positions regardless of regime changes, regardless of any kind of turmoil or any kind of political maneuvering. God will keep you right where He wants you to be. That's where you'll have the ultimate staying power.
Contact Craig and keep up with his blog posts, books, and other videos at craigtowens.com.